Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important topic related to medical coding anatomy, that is microscopic anatomy. If you remember, in our previous session, we talked about macroscopic or gross anatomy, right? So this session is in the continuation of the same, where we will be discussing what is microscopic anatomy in detail. So I'll tell you what is microscopic anatomy, what are the subdivisions, types, and everything we will discuss here. And these concepts will help you to prepare well for your interviews or examination, because I'm also going to share you some questions that will help you to prepare well for these things. Okay? But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. And for that, you can refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box with more than 3000 plus resources, and there is a particular tab for medical coding as well. Okay? Alright, so let's get started. So today's topic is what is microscopic anatomy. So let's see. We will go in a very simple way. Firstly, I'll explain you the definition, which is very self-explanatory. Once you read this definition, you can understand what is the exact meaning of microscopic anatomy. So if someone asks you in the interview what is microscopic anatomy, so you can simply say that microscopic anatomy is the study of the body structure that cannot be seen with the naked eye and require a microscope. Okay? So this is very simplest definition, because from its name it is clear that it is something related to study with microscope, right? And that is why we are saying that microscopic anatomy is the study of the body structure that cannot be seen with the naked eye and require a microscope. Clear? So definition is clear. Now let's talk a bit about the subdivisions, because we all know that there are some subdivisions also for these studies. So first subdivision is histology. Histology. What is histology? When we are doing the study of tissues, then that study is considered as a histology. Okay. Now what is tissue? Tissues are group of similar cells performing a common function. Okay, so if a group of similar cells perform a common function, that thing we will consider as a tissues, and the study of those tissues is known as histology. Okay. Now just for your reference purpose, I have noted down some of the types of example of tissues. Okay, so let's go through it. At least don't try to learn all these things, just try to understand it. That is only what I'm looking from your end, because once you understand this concept, then maybe in the later go when we will be doing the coding and all, at that time it will be helpful for you. Okay, so we have this epithelial tissue. So what is the function of epithelial tissues? Protection, absorption, and secretion. Clear? Now if someone asks you about the characteristics of these tissues, so you can simply say that here the cells are tightly packed. Okay, no blood vessels are there, rapid generation is there, and similarly we have types also, like simple squamous epithelium, stratified squamous epithelium, cuboidal epithelium, columnar epithelium, ciliated epithelium, and granular epithelium. So these are the all types that comes under a types of tissue, epithelial tissue. Clear? Similarly, we have second type of tissue, that is connective tissue, and its function are very simple. They are for support, binding, protection, and transport. So these all kind of functionality, if tissues are performing these functionality, then you can simply say that it is related to connective tissue. Okay, if you want to see the types, so you can see loose connective tissues are areolar or adipose. Similarly, we have dense connective tissue, tendons or ligaments. Then we have cartilage, bone, blood. So these all things comes under a connective tissue. Next thing is muscular tissues, which is mainly for performing the movement. So if a tissues are functioning as for helping to function a movement, that thing we will consider as a muscular tissue. Okay, let's see the types of muscular tissues. First, skeletal muscle, that is voluntary. Then we have smooth muscle, involuntary, voluntary and involuntary means from its name it's clear, right? It's if it is a skeletal muscle, then it is a voluntary. If it is a smooth muscle, then it is a involuntary. Likewise, we have cardiac muscles that is related to heart only. Okay, so these are the types of muscular tissue. Similarly, we have nervous tissues. Their role is to transmission of the nerve impulses. Okay, so if a tissue is transmitting the nerve impulses, then that type of tissue is considered as a nervous tissue. And if someone asks you about the component of these tissues, so you can simply say that it contains neurons, neurologia, and its location is mainly in brain and a spinal cord. Okay, so these are some examples of nervous tissue. Now let's talk about the second subdivision, because this is all related to first subdivision, that is histology. Okay, now second important subdivision of microscopic anatomy is cytology. That means study of cells. So if you are doing the study of tissues, it comes under a histology, but if you are doing the study of cells, it comes under a cytology. Okay, it includes structure of cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, and organelles. Okay, now what are the importance? The importance of these tissues or these study is to help to understand the cellular function and disease. Okay, so cytology is mainly important to understand the cellular functions and disease of the human body. Then we also have a third category, although it is somewhere related to a mainly like we categorize it only into two parts, histology and cytology. Third one is ultrastructure, which is mainly a study of fine details of cell using electron microscope. So if you are doing a study with electron microscope, then you can consider it under a third category, that is ultrastructure. For example, mitochondria, ribosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, and Golgi apparatus. So these are the all things that comes under a ultrastructure category. Okay, now we know like we have covered both macroscopic as well as microscopic anatomy with their subdivision. So let's try to find out the importance of microscopic anatomy. So it is essential for understanding the disease processes, basis of pathology, right? If you are doing the pathology, then it is a basis. It also helps us to correlate structure with the function. So if you want to correlate the structure with the function, then it will be considered under a microscopic anatomy because it helps in that. Okay, then we have important in diagnosis and research for sure. Like if you know about these things, then you can utilize your skill into diagnosis and research. So these are the all thing that tells us about the importance of microscopic anatomy. Now it's time to conclude the entire session, because in last session we talked about the macroscopic anatomy, that is gross anatomy, and today we covered the microscopic anatomy, that is related to microscope of study of human body structure, right? So let's try to conclude it. So you can simply say, if someone asks you what is gross anatomy, so you can say that gross anatomy deals with the visible structures. Okay, then we have microscopic anatomy that deals with the cells and tissues, and then we have third that tells that both are essential for complete understanding of the human body. Okay, so you should know about both the things. As I mentioned, don't try to memorize all these things, just try to understand it, because we just need a basic information. Okay, if you know about these things, at least the terminology, then it would be very easy for you to proceed further sessions. Okay, then we have fourth thing, that is that tells they form the foundation of medical science. That is true, right? It forms the foundation of medical science. Okay, so yeah, that's all for today's session, and as usual I'm going to provide you one question for today's session, that is, what is regional anatomy? What is regional anatomy? I'm sure you know about this answer. This is one of the subdivision of gross anatomy. So just I request you to please do share your knowledge in the comment section so that others can take a reference from it. In case if you don't know the answer, don't worry, we have already covered this thing in very detailed manner, so you can refer the previous session. There you will find the detailed thing about this question. And then once you are comfortable with the answer, then you can share your knowledge, because it will also help them, it will also help you to recall your concept and others to refer it directly from the comment section if someone needs a help. So please do share your knowledge in the comment section, and thank you for watching Tech Sharmit. See you in the next session with new topics.